Welcome everyone to today's program, and you see him right there. Chef Dr. Mike is with us again. So many of you are like, bring him back. I want to know more about healthy cooking and healthy food. And one of these days, Chef Dr. Mike, we'll need to have you here in person so we can actually do some of that awesome cooking of yours. So what do you have for us today?
Well, I want to share again a little bit of the practical culinary medicine that we do. And one of the questions I get, all the time is, hey, I followed this recipe or that recipe to the T, but it just doesn't taste like when I go out to my favorite restaurant. What are those chefs doing back there that I don't know how to do? Or they're giving me bad recipes. And to be honest, one of the chef secrets, one of our kitchen secrets to transforming culinary medicine to culinary magic is so simple. It's all about the stock. We just need to take a moment and take stock in our kitchen. And a lot of people will go out and they're paying, $6 because some celebrity slaps their face on a jar of bone broth or this or that. But the stocks that we make in the kitchen are essentially like a really healthy bone broth with all the good things that you've heard about that. Plus, they're important because they're the bases of soups and sauces and things that we braise in, and they add tremendous amounts of flavor. And the
Mm.
great thing about doing it at home is not only what you add to it, but what you don't add. A lot of these cartoned items, they're highly processed, contain all sorts of sodium and other additives that we're finding out when we study are not good for our gut microbiome and can actually be a cause of that low level inflammation. And probably the best thing about stocks is really you're recycling a lot of stuff that you're probably throwing away now. So when you go to your freezer and you're finding that frost burnt piece of, stew meat that you had, maybe some marrow bones or some old soup bones, you got a chicken that you've roasted and now you've got that carcass. Don't throw it out. Save those bits and bobs. And then when you're cleaning out your vegetable bin, you'll find the celery's gone a little limp. Those onions are looking a little raw. Those carrots kind of look like they could use a little Viagra. We could say that. What we want to do is we want to take all that and just throw it all in a stock pot. I add what's called a little Bouquet Garni, which are some fresh herbs like parsley, a little bit of black pepper, maybe a piece of lemon if I got it. I love a little star anise. Again, we talked about recycling. Sometimes when I buy those whole carrots and I cut those carrot greens off and I'm saving the carrots for later, I put those carrot greens in my stock. And basically,
Mm.
we're going to throw this in. We're going to fill it up with water, a good, 4 to 8 quart stock pot. And then forget about it. Just forget about it, to go back to my New York roots. And you want to come back in maybe 4 to 6, 8 hours. Your house will have the most incredible aroma. You cannot buy this potpourri. It will smell so good. And then just turn it off, put a lid on it, let it cool overnight, and then just strain it off. Just take the liquid and it'll freeze. It can last months, but once you start using it, it won't last but a couple of weeks. You want to use it in everything. And all of a sudden now you're infusing your foods with that professional kitchen flavor. Most importantly, from the medicine aspect of culinary medicine, we're infusing our bodies with just the powerful constituents that we find in the very best wholesome bone broths. And really we're recycling all this sort of kitchen waste, what we call sort of tops and tails of trimming vegetables, or what we call trim. So when we cut that carrot top off, don't throw it away, put it in a bag.
Well, you're
When you
basically creating homemade medicine in the kitchen, and everything you just explained will help to boost our immune system because we know that in broth, especially, even if you're just making vegetable soup, vitamins, your minerals, it's all end up in the broth. And with that type of stock, you're telling us that we can actually make, instead of throwing out the foods out of our freezer, they're actually still usable for overall health. And
Yes.
I just love that. Now, tell my viewers, Chef Dr. Mike, you have a couple of amazing books, and I know your bestseller is The Food Shaman. What is that about?
The Food Shaman's the latest book, and thank you so kindly for that. And you are spot on in your summation of that, my mate. Food Shaman really provides some of the scientific evidence. It looks at the importance of what I call the softer edges of the food experience, where, yeah, we'll look at how important it is that what we eat and the quality of the foods and how to use them, as we talked about when you're paying a little more for those real authentic ingredients, but also how important it is to have some fellowship when we eat and sharing that fellowship and the importance of the meal as social human creatures. When we share that, and even you and I sharing a virtual cooking session over here, man, I'm so pumped to get in back in my kitchen. I feel like we just cooked something, and you know what? If we were to look at my immune system now, man, I've changed my whole neuron firing in my brain. My emotions are pumped up. I'm happy, man. You just made my day.
Well, all right. Tell all of my viewers very quickly, where can they learn more about you? Your website, your podcast. Just give it to us right now.
Just head over to www.chefdrmike.com. We're overhauling the website. We're careening it, as it were, scraping it clean. So there'll be lots of great stuff there. But you can follow me on Facebook, same, Twitter, Chef Dr. Mike, and Instagram, Real Chef Dr. Mike.
Hey, thanks a lot, Chef Dr. Mike. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be right back after this message.